So, I like Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Now, it has its issues, sure. I'm not going to stand here and pretend the storefront isn't obscene, or that the AI isn't dumber than a bag of bricks at times. I'm not going to pretend it's not janky as fuck in places, or that the writing isn't some of the cheesiest I've seen in recent years.
Hey, you just relax, pal. I'm doing what I can.
You damn superhero.
But I'm also not going to pretend I have another blast playing it. There's plenty wrong with it, but in the interest of levity and, well, positivity, damn it, here are 5 things I really like about Breakpoint. Number 1, the Solitude. Wait, I know I'm talking about Solitude in a game that's supposed to be about the squad. In a game that's supposed to be about marking and executing orders and flashbang takedowns and all that stuff, but just as I enjoyed this sense of being a lone wolf while exploring the carcass of Washington DC in the Division 2, I'm also enjoying picking my way through the jungles of Aroa. Playing with others is fun and the multiplayer is a passable distraction, but for me the meat is creeping around the underbrush, camo on my face purely for role-playing purposes, scouting enemy placements and then sniping them one by one. It might be nothing, literally nothing, that we haven't done in tons of games before, but it still feels good to have the tactical high ground and only have yourself to rely on. If it goes pear-shaped, it's on you, it's up to you to dig yourself out of the shit. The atmosphere might go to pot in the unnecessary social hub, but out in the world it's just me, my guns and the enemies in our way. Number 2, the sunsets. Right, just imagine it. Feet in the sand, breeze in your hair, the auburn glow of a perfect sunset caressing the landscape like silk as you relax. Breathe in and squeeze the trigger on your rifle to send a high velocity round clean through the brain pan of a scumbag mercenary hostage taker a few hundred yards away. Character animations can be a little bit janky outside of cutscenes. Seriously, why does Nomad walk like that, Ubisoft? Get back to me. But those sunsets and sunrises actually are gosh darn pretty. Number 3, exploring the world. To be fair, the world itself is fairly impressive. You can label it generic if you like. I mean, it's not all that different to Far Cry 5's Montana, really, but there are some truly beautiful views to savour. Not to mention there's always something off the path, maybe a cave where Johnny Mercenary stashes his collection of antique boxes and for some reason little box of syringes, maybe a hole in the ground with a chest in it in which someone has seen fit to store a pair of perfectly good military issue boots. There are little cabins in the woods, waterfalls and snowy mountaintops to parachute off. There are side paths and vantage points in ancient ruins and all manner of ways to get yourself into and out of trouble. Just watch that Azrael drone. If it spots you, it'll unleash a couple of nigh unkillable murder bots to punish you just for being you. If you see it coming, hide. Number 4, the sniping. I like sniping in games, only in PvE anyway, where I can take my time. I like scoping out a base, marking targets, I like orchestrated mayhem. When a game implements this correctly, it can be exceptional. Now, Ubisoft can do this. We know they can. We've seen them do it in Far Cry, wherein you can set up a distraction, maybe free a couple of caged animals, pop a few oil drums, and then pick the enemy apart in the ensuing mayhem. Breakpoint doesn't do this as well, and the main reason is that the AI is literally too stupid to be funneled or manipulated into a specific situation that makes planning worth it. In Breakpoint, the enemy has one and only one strategy: to pick their way directly towards you from cover to cover, allowing you to line up headshot after headshot like ducks in a gallery. Now, it sounds boring, maybe broken, maybe it is, but it's also a lot of fun. There are bullet sponge drones and robots and enemies with miniguns and armour, but almost all humans can be put down with a gunshot to the head, and taking out a cluster of enemies before they have time to react, or even plugging a whole encampment undetected, is still a god tier feeling. And number 5, the details. For every time you get hit by a speeding truck and somehow survive, or plough a motorcycle into a tree and walk it off, or outright fall off a cliff and barely sprain your ankle, there's some tiny detail that makes you nod and smile to yourself and almost forget the bad stuff. Clothes that muddy when you roll down a hill, tyres that pick up clinging dirt, the ability to camouflage yourself with the mud from the ground, the way you throw up a hand as you stumble down a hill into a cliff face, or filling up your canteen in the river, or eating to give yourself a temporary buff between camps. These tiny details matter, and Breakpoint is full of them. They might seem like small comfort compared to the towering technical issues, but they're still impressive in their own right. So there you go. There's 5 things I particularly like about Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Like I said, it has its issues. I go into them and other things, including the positive, in a much more depth in the full review, which you'll find on the site in a couple of days. Let us know if you've played it, if you're planning on playing it. Let us know what you think. In the meantime, I've been Mick for God is a Geek, and you guys have been lovely. Bye.